Of course, I agree that you can have a dissent, but I hate to see, as I did on television last night, a bunch of people that are dissenting and flying the flag of North Vietnam, the enemy, and I didn't see a single American flag in that group. I don't agree with that, although I think a person has a right to dissent. But I certainly think that we're free, loving Americans, and we love freedom. And I think that most people in the United States agree that the flag of the United States is a great institution, and we should be supporting our country.
After the war in Vietnam, when we start settling back down in this country, militarily speaking, are we going to need a National Guard, or are we going to have enough people in the reserve and the regular forces?
It's my opinion that this country has been based on, for its total history, of a small active force backed up by a citizen soldier who's able to meet the requirements of this country by build-up, by calling them to active duty. And it's my opinion that there will be a greater requirement for reserve forces after Vietnam is over.
It would appear at this time, though, that option 2, simply changing the basis of assessment, as we've always done, is the most appropriate way at this point.
What kind of reception did the businessmen and city councilmen that you met with this afternoon give these options? What were their reactions?
Well, let me say they gave us a very good hearing. They were interested, they were concerned, they were most helpful in the comments that they made. Of course, we didn't go to get their approval or ask the city council to take any sort of a vote. We simply wanted to inform them of what we were going to do and ask them if they had any information they'd like to provide to us.
Did you get the impression that the city council would be willing to go along with the proposal of changing the tax assessment base?
Oh, no, none whatsoever.
Do you have any idea? Do you think that this would you feel safe enough to recommend it, to ask them to do it?
Well, I think the people of this city have always done what was necessary to provide good schools. And as soon as we find out which approach is the best, I think our people will approve it.
If you did raise the assessment base, would this mean that you could lower the tax rate?
Yes, if we change the basis of assessment from 45% to 75%, we'd reduce the tax rate from $1.82 to $1.10. There would be a reduction in the tax rate if we increase the basis of assessment.
Both those who oppose and those who favor the appointment should express themselves on the matter. Please, no protests, marches, or any type of demonstrations which could possibly lead to tensions. Please, no expressions of racism, because this is not a racial issue. Neither is it a partisan political issue.
Mr. Price, what is your reaction to Mayor Johnson's statement that this is not a city council matter?
I completely concur with the mayor. The question of responsibility is the very need, brings about the very need for such a poll to be conducted. Mayor Johnson's statements do not conflict with mine in any way. We are a sponsoring agency jointly with the Dallas County Commissioners Court. Our only way of effectively expressing ourselves on it would be to withdraw as a sponsor of the program. However, I oppose such a move, and I think the War on Poverty program has been most beneficial in Dallas and has been far above the average as conducted nationwide.
There have been rumors of violence in the housing project where Mrs. Jefferson lived at a time when she was affiliated with the SNCC organization out there. Do you have any information on this?
They're not only rumors, they're documented facts in the petition and the resulting public disclosure as a result of the petition. The people felt that she and her cohorts were intimidating them to such a degree that they did not feel safe having her in the project.
Intimidating them in what manner?
I really don't care to discuss all of the details of that.
Coach Russ, what will determine whether it's one or more home games to be played in Texas Stadium?
Well, the first consideration is who the opponent is. Any of our conference opponents in the Missouri Valley, we feel would be an appropriate opponent to play in the Texas Stadium if we can work things out as we wish to in regard to the schedule and so forth. Now, we think that if we play a non-conference team that is not well known in this area, we might be as well off playing at home. Of course, there's always a consideration that we want to play homecoming at home. It has never been voiced as yet, but there may develop a feeling that we should play X number of games in Denton and put some limit of some type just arbitrarily, so to speak, so we always play at least a couple games in Denton. I think personally that we should strive toward playing more and more games in Texas Stadium. I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot nicer than where we're playing now.
It is our belief that private education encompasses elementary, secondary, college, and university. And it has been the historic position of Baptists that the denominations or the religious faiths that have these elementary, secondary, college, that they should provide it for their own constituency. This means that we believe that in communities where you have schools like we have here in the Dallas area, that the community contributes to private education because they believe that people who have these schools have a real contribution to make. So for that reason, we would say yes.
But would you be concerned personally of a dollar squeeze? Because there's so many demands on all church people and all citizens.
I think public education and private education both are facing dollar squeezes. Yes, I think we'll face a dollar squeeze, but not any more than we might have faced anyway over the next 4 or 5 years. No issue is ever a dead issue as far as our Baptist convention is concerned. Any messenger to any convention can bring the issue up again. However, it is my opinion that it may be several years before the issue will be presented to the group of people as it has been in 1966 and again this year.
If it had been passed, would this passage have helped Dallas Baptist College, for instance, in any way?
Of course, it was felt by many that this would open the door to loans that would enable us to build resident halls probably more rapidly than we will build them. So it would have helped us in this way. Of course, our government clearly understands this, and through the tax laws of our land, they enable philanthropists to give to the private sector of education. And by giving to the private sector of education, they keep such schools as SMU, University of Dallas, Bishop College, Dallas Baptist College, Christian College of the Southwest. They keep these schools strong because individuals with these thoughts in mind, our government allows them to do this.